Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So I've got two phones here that represent a pretty massive leap in Apple's timeline. On my left, I've got the iPhone 15. This is my blue unit, which has been with me for about a year now. And on my right, the new iPhone 17 in this really nice lavender finish. Now, if you're sitting there with an iPhone 15 or maybe even an older model, like a 13 or 14, you're probably asking yourself, do I actually need to upgrade? Because let's be real, phones are getting expensive and the iPhone 15 is still a beast. But there is something about this iPhone 17 that I think finally bridges the gap between the regular iPhone and the Pro iPhone. In this video, we're gonna do a real side-by-side humble comparison. I'm gonna share my personal experience, like actual battery stats, Geekbench scores, and how that new iOS 26 liquid glass update runs on both of them. We'll talk about the display, the camera upgrades, and honestly, whether you should spend your money or just save it. So stick around, grab a coffee, and let's figure this out together. Alright, let's start with the first thing you notice, the design and that display. Physically, holding them in hand, they feel pretty similar. The iPhone 15 here introduced those softer contoured edges back in the day, which was a huge upgrade from the sharp edges of the iPhone 12. The iPhone 17 keeps that comfortable feel, but it's slightly taller and just a hair thicker. But looking closer at the buttons, there are some real changes here. On the iPhone 17, they have completely ditched the old mute switch for the action button, and further down, they've added the camera control button. Now, let's be honest, I usually don't use it. It's great, don't get me wrong, but it's just a nice to have feature, It hasn't totally changed how I use the phone, but it is there if you need it. But the real story is when you turn the screen on, for years, and I mean years, we've been begging Apple to put a high refresh rate screen on the base model. And finally, with the iPhone 17, they did it. This thing has a 1Hz to 120Hz ProMotion display. Side by side, the difference is, well, it's jarring. My iPhone 15 is locked at 60Hz. It's still a good OLED panel, don't get me wrong. It hits like 2000 nits outdoors. But the iPhone 17 goes up to 3000 nits. And scrolling through the UI is just buttery smooth. Also, look at these bezels. The iPhone 17 sits at 6.3 inches, now compared to the 6.1 on the 15. It's not a huge size difference in the hand, but because the bezels are so thin, it just feels way more immersive. It's like the content is floating in your hand. Speaking of floating, we have to talk about iOS 26. This update dropped a few months ago, and the new liquid glass design language is honestly, it's a game changer. On the iPhone 17 with that 120Hz screen, the new animations look incredible. The way the icons deform and the light refracts, it feels like modern tech. Now, on my iPhone 15, it's a bit of a mixed bag. I mean, it runs it, sure. But I noticed when I first updated to iOS 26, this phone got warm. Like really warm. I think it was just re-indexing the system files and crunching all that data for the new features. It settled down after a few days, but you can tell the A16 Bionic is working harder to keep up with these new visuals. To be honest, seeing iOS 26 on a 60Hz screen versus the 120Hz screen makes the 15 feel older than it actually is. It's like the software was made for the 17's display. Okay, let's get nerdy for a second. I ran Geekbench 6 on both of these to see what the actual difference is. My iPhone 15 running the A16 chip scored 2626 on single core and 6538 on multi-core. For the GPU metal score, it hit 22,729. Now look at the iPhone 17 with the new A19 chip. It got 3,573 single core and a massive 9,143 multi-core. And for the GPU, 37,286. That is a huge jump, especially in graphics. But here's the thing, in day-to-day use, my iPhone 15 is still decent. Apps open quick, swiping is fine. But I have noticed something about RAM. The 15 has 6 gigabytes of RAM. It's good. Way better than the 4 gigabytes on the older 12 or 13, but with heavy multitasking, I still see some app reloads. The iPhone 17 manages memory way better. If you're a gamer, that A19 chip paired with the 120Hz screen is just different. It also can play AAA titles games, which is really great for gaming. Now, battery life. This is where it gets interesting. My iPhone 15 is sitting at 99% battery health with 212 cycle counts after a year. That's actually really good. Since this is my backup phone, mostly sitting on my desk for review stuff and beta testing, it's held up well. I don't notice a huge degradation. But the iPhone 17, it's been my secondary daily driver for over a month now. About 29 cycles in, I'm easily getting through a full day of work with like 6 or 7 hours of screen on time, and I still have juice left when I get home. That efficiency comes from the ProMotion display ramping down to 1 Hz and that 3nm A19 chip. If you're coming from an iPhone 12 or 13, the battery jump here is going to feel massive. Let's talk cameras, because this is where things get a little technical, but bear with me. On paper, they look similar. Dual lenses. But if you look at these side-by-side shots I took, the difference in the ultrawide is actually massive. The iPhone 15 uses a 12 megapixel ultrawide sensor. It's fine for social media, but if you zoom in on the corners, it gets soft. The iPhone 17 has upgraded that sensor to 48 megapixels. That's 4 times the resolution. What does that mean for you? Well, when you take those wide landscape shots or big group photos, the clarity is just sharper. You can crop into the image later and it doesn't look like a watercolor painting. But the viral feature everyone is talking about is the front camera. The iPhone 17 has this new 18 megapixel square sensor. It sounds like a gimmick, but being able to take a landscape selfie while holding the phone vertically, it's actually so useful. I really think Android manufacturers are gonna copy this next year. Also, dual capture. You can record front and back cameras at the same time natively now. It's great for vlogging if you're into that. Now, a quick word on Apple Intelligence. The iPhone 17 supports it fully thanks to the NPU in the A19. But honestly, I'm gonna be real with you guys. It's still kinda in that early beta feeling stage. It's cool, but for serious work, I still find myself opening the Gemini app or ChatGPT. They're just more powerful right now. So if you're upgrading just for the AI features, I'd say hold your horses. The iPhone 15 doesn't support the on-device stuff, but you're not missing out on much yet. So the verdict is the upgrade worth it? If you're on an iPhone 15 right now, it really depends. Your phone is still fast. The battery is likely still great. Mine is at 99% after a year, and the camera is solid for 90% of daily tasks. If you're the type of person who doesn't care about 120Hz screens, or you don't really notice the smoothness difference, then honestly, you can easily wait for the iPhone 18. There is no shame in skipping a generation, and your 15 has plenty of life left in it. However, if you are on an iPhone 12, 13, or even 14, the iPhone 17 is a massive leap. It's not just a spec bump, it's a completely different experience. You're getting the ProMotion display, which makes everything feel instant. You're finally getting USB-C, so you can ditch those lightning cables. You get the dynamic island, huge battery gains that will actually get you through a day, and a design that feels premium with those thin bezels. For me, the iPhone 17 basically killed the need for a Pro model for most people. In the past, the regular iPhone always felt like it was missing the cool stuff. But now, you get the high refresh rate, you get the 48 megapixel fusion camera, you get the AI, unless you desperately need that dedicated optical zoom lens. The base 17 is the smart buy. It's that good. And remember, trade-in values for the iPhone 15 are still decent. You could probably get around $400 to $500 for it if you sell it privately or find a good carrier deal. That means for a few $100 out of pocket, you reset your battery health to 100%, you get the latest features, and you future-proof yourself for another 3 or 4 years, which makes the upgrade to the 17 much easier to swallow. Anyway, that's my takes. Let me know in the comments, are you team upgrade or team wait? Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.